What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And today I'm a little bit excited because the title alone got me pretty pumped because this is SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. So guys, oh my god, I love me some Plague Doctors, bro. Like, that's all I'm saying. If you guys know like my taste, this is definitely up my alley. Hopefully they do a twist on the type of Plague Doctor this is, since it's an SCP. We don't know what we're going to get, especially with the ones I already covered so far, man. It's never what it is supposed to be on surface level. So I'm excited about diving in. But before we get deep, remember, in the description below, you can find the link to the original video of this content. Please support the original creator. I love watching and reacting to his videos, and it's awesome. So share the love to the original creator. And also, if you guys do enjoy my reaction to this video, please remember to smash that like button and also join the family. Be part of the show, man. It would be the best place to be to get SCP heat. So with that all out the way, also let me know below what's your guys' favorite SCP, and I'll cover it on a later date. So with that all out the way, let's start this show. Alrighty, SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. Let's get it, man. Hopefully this is a good one. Alright, same intro, like always.
The esteemed Dr. Thomas Morstead entered the cell of the anomaly. He'd been warned and even chastised by his colleagues. But who in the Foundation could tell him what to do? He was the best at what he did. Maybe the greatest in the whole history of the Foundation. As he entered the room, SCP-049 bid him welcome, cordial as always. So polite, in fact, that you'd never guess you were talking to a killer. Dr. Morstead knew the truth of what he was dealing with, but he also believed he could get through to 049. Calm him, exorcise the devil from him. It was the meeting of two great minds, one of them human, one of them part human, part something that has never been clear.
What?
It was to be a battle.
Whoa, so the Plague Doctor in this is not even a human. Guys, this is gonna get juicy. I hope we find out exactly what it is. But I doubt it, but we shall see.
Wits, and like so many great battles, this one would turn into a massacre. Before we get to that fateful meeting, there are some things you should know about the anomaly known as SCP-049. If you saw him in the street, the first thing you'd think of is plague, because 049 always looked the same. A man dressed in black robes with a Plague Doctor's mask. But this wasn't a costume that could be taken off. In fact, it wasn't a costume at all.
What?
It was him. The robes had grown out of him like an exoskeleton.
What?
That horrible mask with the pointed nose wasn't covering his face. It was his face. A kind of shell that had seemingly sprouted from bone. The first reports came during World War II.
Yo, I want to know how old this dude is. We just find out that its first reports is from World War II, but that doesn't show how old this dude. Oh, bro.
In a picturesque town in the south of France
crazy.
called Montauban, people had begun going missing. Children disappeared from the beds in the middle of the night and weren't seen again. Adults went to the market and never returned. Local authorities searched high
Adults
and low.
and kids.
They scoured nearby woods and dragged the rivers, but nothing was found. Because what was happening wasn't criminal. There was no clue they could stumble upon, or eyewitness who would break the case. No, this was something else. Something that the townsfolk could never understand. Word spread, and that's when a search and discovery team was sent from the Foundation. It was a cold, dark night in January of 1941 when the team found what they were looking for. They walked through the open door of a small house located not too far from the Grand Chateau de Richelieu to find a masked man sitting next to an open fire. And he wasn't alone. The floor around him looked like it was moving. Upon closer inspection, the team saw that the floor was covered with writhing, grasping bodies. It's patients, as it called them. Bienvenue chez moi, said the thing. Welcome to my home. Those so-called patients crawled towards the team, intent it seemed to cause harm. The hostiles, now known as SCP-049-2s, were deemed dangerous and had—
Whoa, the patients was fighting for the Plague Doctor? I thought they were crawling for safety, like help me, but I guess they're crawling to defend the Plague Doctor. Hold up, let's see this again.
Welcome to my home. Those so-called patients crawled towards the team, intent it seemed to cause harm. The hostiles, now known as SCP-049-2s, were deemed dangerous and had to be eliminated.
He's taking notes on you guys. The SCP studying you, bro. This is dummy.
It didn't
Oh
bother
my God.
049 in the slightest. It just sat there, occasionally looking up from writing notes in a leather-bound book as his patients were gunned down. Once the carnage
Wow.
ended, it simply closed its book, stood up, and allowed itself to be escorted away. And that's the story of how 049
Wow.
ended up at the facility, becoming a guest of...
He willingly just wanted to go. Bro, this reminds me of so many like movies where like you kill him from the inside out, or like he just knows everything. This is like part of his plan to just like go with them. Maybe he just wants to study them more. Oh my, this is kind of cool.
sorts, staying in a standard secure humanoid containment cell, Research Sector 02, Site 19. The few that came into contact with 049 remarked that it was a pleasure for them, with its impeccable manners, vast knowledge of medicine and human anatomy, sharp tongue, and stinging weapon.
Is this dude teaching them within the... Wow, the SCP is like teaching them, they're learning from it. Wow, that's crazy.
They almost became spellbound listening to it, caught in the throes of its charms until, with the simple touch of its hand, it would drain the life from them. That's why SCP-049 was classified as a
I was just casually just like I was just waiting for like something crazy to happen. But damn, there we go. So if it touches you, you're done. You're donezo. Bro. What else does he have in his bag?
Guards were always stationed outside its cell. It's why doctors took great precautions when in its presence, and it's why Dr. Morstead should have known better. Remember, when 049 was discovered in France, it willingly went with the team, like it was happy it had been found, as if it had planned its own capture.
So I'm
When
saying
it
he
arrived
planned
at the
this.
facility, it didn't act like it was contained against its will. It was like it was returning home.
What the
Initial
hell?
findings as to the biology of 049 were that it didn't require any sustenance at all, not even water. It seemed content to be left alone with its notebooks. It did not object when it was asked if it could share some of its notes and gladly handed over its journals. But upon examination, it was discovered that they were
Different
written
language?
in a language that no linguist or cryptologist
Figured.
has so far been able to translate. It's
Damn.
apparent that 049 derives much satisfaction from seeing so-called experts struggle over its text. Unable to read those notes, a long line of doctors visited 049 in its cell, each fascinated by what they beheld. It was learned that it has traveled the globe. It speaks many languages, but prefers to speak what it calls les langues de l'amour, French. It asked for only one thing: warm-blooded animals. The facility agreed to supply 049 with various kinds, including rabbits, cattle,
Goddamn.
and even an ape on
He's a
the
prisoner. Why is he getting
Just
all
like
this
with
stuff?
humans, it could kill the animals with a mere touch of its hand, sucking the life right out of them. But that wasn't even the most incredible part.
Damn, what the hell did the monkey do though? Like, no explanation, you just want to warm animals just to suck their life away. Do you need the life to stay alive? I'm assuming he's sucking the life of other people so he could live forever. Like, if he doesn't do that, maybe he dies.
Those animals would rise again, as if reanimated by 049. They would become, for all intents and purposes, the living dead.
Whoa!
049.
Hold up.
Right out of them. But that wasn't even the most incredible part. Soon those animals would rise again, as if reanimated by 049. They would become, for all intents and purposes, the living dead. And they were hostile. After several unfortunate incidents, they were taken from the cell the moment they arose and disposed of in the incinerator. This was not to the liking of 049.
Yeah, what the
Who
hell?
would claim it had cured the animals. For it, the world was sick. It saw plague and pestilence everywhere, and the meaning of its existence was to rid the world of disease.
There we go.
Human.
That's what I'm talking about. The plague doctor, because he thinks everyone has a plague. Okay, this is dope. It reminds me of like Overhaul from My Hero Academia. If you guys are anime watchers, you guys know what I'm talking about. Wow. Okay, so this is getting kind of cool now.
It said, contained a virus and had to be cleansed. In the first days after arriving at the facility, 049 didn't seem to pose a threat to humans. It was quite friendly, in fact. It seemed aware of the fear it caused in staff, and would often go out of its way to make them feel comfortable and safe. This was a ruse, of course.
Yeah.
Or a canard, as 049 liked to say.
You guys see that?
To help humans. No.
Yeah, how he had his fingers crossed on the back. Oh my god. And it's funny because his hands are like fucking balls, circular balls. Hold up, let's see it. Let's see this again.
staff and would often go out of its way to make them feel comfortable and safe. This was a ruse.
Look at that.
As 049 liked to say.
Holy
It had
cow.
no intention to help humans. No, it had come for humans.
Damn.
It wasn't trapped. It had set a trap. One of the first people to truly upset 049 was Dr. Raymond Ham, a well-respected physician that had twice been a contender for the Nobel Prize for his more mainstream work. What had
Wow.
confused Dr. Ham the most was not 049's clothes-like exoskeleton, or even his ability to reanimate the dead, but the bag that it used. 049 was somehow able to pull a seemingly endless supply of surgical tools from that bag. Sometimes it would even pull out objects that were somehow larger than the bag itself. It was as
Uh-oh.
if the bag connected to somewhere else.
Different
And that's
dimension?
what Dr. Ham wanted to talk about on that fateful day. With 049 on one side of the cell and Dr. Ham on the other, he asked, "How is it that you can produce a great quantity of tools from that bag?"
Whoa, do you guys hear that? It sounded like a robotic voice talking. It seemed like the plague doctor. Hold up, let's see this again.
It was as if the bag connected to somewhere else. And that's what Dr. Ham wanted to talk about on that fateful day. With 049 on one side of the cell and Dr. Ham on the other, he asked, "How is it that you can produce a great quantity of tools from that bag? I've
Uh-oh.
observed you, and it seems to me that you are doing the impossible." "Dear doctor," replied 049, "the scourge, the great dying, cannot be fought with a handful of toys. My bag is merely the product of my imagination. It gives me what I require.
Wow.
You, dear sir, it seems, are limited by your imagination." It stopped for a second or two and stared at Dr. Ham. "I detect you are unwell," it said, in a voice not as amiable as before. "It's just a cold," said the doctor.
Uh-oh. That boy got the Rona. Bruh, this is crazy. And if you guys didn't catch that, he could just pull whatever he imagines in the bag out of it. So if he wants, scissors, he could just pull it out because it's his imagination. Dang.
"Just a cold. If you had seen what I have seen, you would not utter such insulting words." Dr. Ham pulled out some papers from a briefcase and approached 049, holding them close enough so he could read them. "You see," said Dr. Ham, pointing to the results on the paper, "those animals you say you cured, they were not diseased. They were perfectly healthy before they died.
Uh-oh.
Your so-called cure, it turned them into something quite terrible. We found that if they were left alone, they began to eat each other, and then themselves." 049 did not respond, and after a brief pause said only, "A good day to you, doctor. Please close the door on your way out. You should get some rest."
Oh,
Ham
no.
refused to go, and instead turned the conversation to this real interest,
Uh-oh.
the bag, demanding
Ah!
that 049
He touched him!
see inside of it. "Very well, doctor."
He's donezo. He's donezo. He just touched him.
Ham refused to go, and instead turned the conversation to this real interest, the bag.
Boom. Gone. Off the grid. Like, completely. He should be disintegrating or just crumbling down as a dead body. But still, a little bit extra, but yeah. He
Demanding
should be
that
gone.
049 let him see inside of it. "Very well, doctor," 049 said. In private, 049 began to pull a series of long metal poles out of its bag, followed by a rolled-up curtain that it hung between them, creating a kind of medical tent around Dr. Ham. It seemed to stare for just a moment into the observation camera outside of itself before whipping the curtain shut. Dr. Ham was discovered 3 hours later, crawling around the floor of 049's cell, now another mindless undead. When he was retrieved by security, 049 didn't even look up from his notebook. Dr. Ham didn't get the incinerator treatment, but he did receive a fatal dose of drugs. A mercy. A removal team was sent to 049's cell, but it had said there was no need for special extraction techniques. It would go willingly, wherever they wanted to go. It was not, it said, an enemy of the people. "The Hippocratic Oath forbids me to hurt a human being," it said while walking to the interrogation center.
What?
"My only desire is to offer you my services and expertise." The floors and walls of the interrogation center room were painted a bright white. Even the table was white, which contrasted with 049, a mass of black sitting in the middle of the room. During the interrogation, it refused to admit or even accept that it had killed Dr. Ham. "I cured him. I removed the pestilence from his body," it said. It was later asked if it regretted its actions.
I want to know exactly what he's moving. That's what I really want to know. What is he removing from the humans? Oh, man. I hope he explains it.
To which it replied, "Well, good sir, one always regrets the loss of a colleague for any reason, but I stand by my actions. The pestilence must be abated before it is too late." Every 2 weeks from that point, 049 was given animals. The scientists at the facility observed it time and again, touching the animals, killing them, before producing a saw or scalpel and opening them.
The hell?
Organs would be carefully removed with perfect precision. It was astounding to even trained surgeons just how talented 049 was. "I require a close relative of yours," said 049 one day to a young doctor, who expressed shock that it was asked for one of the doctor's family members.
Oh no!
"I mean a great ape," said 049. "Not your dear aunt." There were several instances of 049 displaying a crude sense of humor. Staff would almost forget that the thing that they were talking to wasn't human.
This is creepy.
And it was Dr. Thomas Morstead that had supplied the great apes, orangutans in fact, that had been rescued from the rainforests of Borneo, only to be taken to 049's cell. Then one day something changed. 049 told Dr. Morstead that its work was done, that it accomplished what it had wanted to do, and could someone remove the cured animal from its cell?
Okay.
"I think you'd find that it's quite the work of art. A triumph," 049 said through the intercom. When the removal team entered the cell, they found the orangutan, or what was left of it. It was lying in the corner of the cell. The top of its skull had been removed, leaving its brain exposed. On its face was the expression of relaxation, and from its mouth it issued very soft squeaks, like that of an infant. 049 said, "Tell Dr. Morstead that its
Why is his ape pink though? What the heck?
rage mechanism no longer exists. I've removed the amygdala and made some changes to the hypothalamus and limbic system. It is cured and quite harmless." The next day, Dr. Morstead announced that he wanted to visit 049's cell himself, after which he heard a chorus of disapproval from his colleagues.
For real?
All telling him that 049 was now too dangerous.
Too damn
Dr.
dangerous.
was sick, replied Morstead, and 049 has assured us that he would never take another human life. He's never lied to us.
You guys notice that he's crossing again. Bro, he's playing us. Bro.
He's never lied to us.
Guys, this doctor is playing the freaking narrator right now. Like, oh my goodness, I gotta see this again.
Quite harmless. The next day, Dr. Morstead announced that he wanted to visit 049's cell himself, after which he heard a chorus of disapproval from his colleagues.
Smart.
All telling him that 049 was now too dangerous.
Exactly.
Dr. Ham was sick, replied Morstead, and 049 has assured us that he would never take another human life.
Assured, yeah, for sure.
We're going to take him at his word. It appeared that 049 had created the perfect specimen. So what was next? Dr. Morstead had to know. "Everyone is sick," 049 told Dr. Morstead after the two had talked for a couple of minutes.
"How though?
The great pandemic has started. Fear not, doctor. I have a cure. No longer will you humans spread your disease."
Oh my god.
"I'm afraid you are wrong," replied the doctor. "This pandemic you speak of does not exist. We can happily live with our pathogens.
Blah, 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 blah,
We've
blah.
done so for millennia." Dr. Morstead became angry that he couldn't get through to 049.
Then just
"I'm afraid
leave.
you are suffering from paranoia. It is you who need to be cured." "You have no idea," said 049, standing up. "What are you doing?" shouted Morstead. "You promised you wouldn't hurt a human again." "I'm not hurting you. I'm healing you."
Run.
049 said and leapt
Get out of there. Get out of there now, bro.
across the room in a flash, placing a hand on the doctor's head. Morstead slumped to the ground.
Oh
They were being
God.
watched in the observation room, and this had gone too far. He had to be moved to the containment cells, permanently. Mobile Task Force Epsilon 11 was right on the scene and burst through the door. "No imagination," 049 said to himself. "Those humans have no imagination at all."
Jesus.
He began walking towards the task force, who opened fire on the anomaly, but the bullets bounced off its black coat and mask. SCP-049
He's immune to bullets.
each of the members of the task force, one by one, draining the life from them. The last one
While they're still shooting at him.
standing stopped firing and attempted to run, but again 049 leapt across the room, black cape billowing out behind him.
Okay,
and
Batman.
gently touched the man, causing him to drop to the floor. 049 stepped over the bodies of the fallen team and walked out of the containment cell. The full details of what happened next are available only to the O5 Council, what are sometimes called the Overseers.
Bro, they're
We're trying to
goofy for just having people talk to it. I'll just lock it up in a room. Since he came willingly, literally put him in a room like underground, underwater or something, and just leave him there. From what we gathered, he can't like teleport or phase through walls or anything like that. So, I mean, there you go. These guys are dumb.
Report that is available reads: Standard Secure Humanoid Containment Cell, Research Sector 02, Site 19. Subject: SCP-049. Date of breach: redacted. Euclid Class SCP-049 breached cell and subsequently gained access to adjoining rooms and nearby buildings. Breach lasted approximately 3 days and 5 hours. Total casualties: redacted, with redacted number of survivors requiring incineration therapy. Course of action: Department of Science Alchemy Division suggested injecting anti-transmogrified disinfectant into Class D former prisoners who were transported to site and allowed them to come into contact with SCP-049. SCP failed to reanimate injected prisoners and cure them. SCP-049 acknowledged this failure and surrendered to Mobile Task Force Alpha-1. SCP-049 then requested to be contained.
Wow!
Responsibility.
No way! Okay, what did they actually put in them again?
Out of the containment. The members of the task force.
Okay, that's too far. Let me go back.
SCP-049.
Okay.
Date of breach: redacted. Euclid Class SCP-049 breached cell and subsequently gained access to adjoining rooms and nearby buildings. Breach lasted approximately 3 days and 5 hours. Total casualties: redacted, with redacted number of survivors requiring incineration therapy. Course of action: Department of Science Alchemy Division suggested injecting anti-transmogrified disinfectant into Class D former prisoners who were transported to site.
What the hell is that, though?
Into contact with SCP-049.
Wow.
SCP failed to reanimate injected prisoners and cure them. SCP-049 acknowledged this failure and surrendered to Mobile Task Force Alpha-1.
Dang.
SCP-049 then requested to be contained.
Requested
Present containment under responsibility of redacted. Present location of SCP-049. Redacted. End of report.
Yo, hold, let me see this again. Bro, this was a good one. Honestly, towards the end, like, I didn't even think they're going to defeat this dude. But they brought out the Alchemy Division and inject them with some crazy-ass thing that I don't think it exists. But since he failed to reanimate them, he requested to be captured. Like, wow. He actually believed, like, what he was doing is curing them. This was a good one. This is one of the more dangerous ones so far that I reacted to thus far. I would say this one will be second so far. I'll still say the Scarlet King is the most dangerous one, since if it's come to this world, literally all existence can't handle it in reality. And then I'll say the Plague Doctor. Then probably Shy Guy. But damn, this is nutty. This dude's nutty. He's like the Grim Reaper basically. And it's funny that like his costume is himself. Like, it's not like an outfit or a mask. Like, that was kind of crazy to find out. Like, yo, if you guys enjoyed this reaction, please smash that like button. It'll help the channel grow and it'll mean a lot, and it takes less than a second and it's 100% free, especially if you made it all the way to the end. And if you guys did make it all the way to the end, please smash that sub button. Join the family. There's only a few of us, so I'd love to have you. I'm pretty lonely, so join the family and tune in for the Savvy Show. It's going to be going on for a while and I can't wait to make more content for you guys. So please smash the sub button if you do enjoy my content. And remember, in the description below, well, not in the description, well, yeah, in the description below, check out the main the original video of what I just reacted to if you guys will like. And also in the comment section below, let me know your guys' favorite SCP so I could cover them on a later date. So without all out the way, I hope you guys all had a good time watching this reaction with me, and you guys wait for the next one. So without all out the way, I hope you guys all have a blessed day, and the Savvy Show is concluded. Savvy signing out. With